My mom started charging me rent the day I turned 18. I thought she was being cruel until I found out why. I turned 18 on a Tuesday. No big party, no cake, just dinner at home and a quiet happy birthday from my mom before she went to bed early, like she always does. It wasn't a bad day, just normal. The next morning she knocked on my door before school, which was already unusual. She doesn't usually do that. When I opened it, she was holding an envelope. "Since you're 18 now," she said, placing it in my hand, "it's time you start contributing." I frowned. "Contributing? How?" "Rent," she said simply. I actually laughed at first, because I thought she was joking. She wasn't. Inside the envelope was a breakdown, a fixed amount due at the end of every month. It wasn't crazy high, but for someone still at school, it felt impossible. "Mom, I don't even have a job yet," I said. "You'll figure it out," she replied. Just like that. No discussion, no explanation, just final. I won't lie, I was angry, like really angry. All my friends were getting support from their parents and mine was suddenly treating me like a tenant. I started picking up small jobs after school. Tutoring, helping neighbors, anything that I could find. I barely had time to rest. And every month, without fail, she'd remind me, "Rent is due." No, "Are you okay?" No, "Do you need help?" Just that. It started to feel less and less like a home and more like a place I was just staying in. After a while, I stopped talking to her as much. I'd come home, go straight to my room, do my work, sleep, repeat. We lived in the same house but barely spoke, and she didn't seem to mind. That's what hurt the most. Not the money, just how cold she became. By the time I finished school, I had almost saved nothing. Everything I made went straight to her. I even thought of moving out just to prove a point, but I couldn't afford to. So I stayed, quiet, resentful, tired. This went on for almost a year. Then one day, she knocked on my door, same as before, same calm expression. "Can you come sit with me for a minute?" she asked. I almost said no, but something in her voice felt different. So I followed her to the kitchen. She placed something on the table. Another envelope. I sighed. This is about rent. I already..." "Just open it," she said. I rolled my eyes but did it anyways. Inside wasn't a bill. It was a bank statement. I frowned, confused. "What is it?" "Keep looking," she said. So I did. Line after line, deposits. Every single payment I had made. Every rent payment. All day, untouched. My name was on the account, not hers, mine. I blinked. "I don't understand." "That's your money," she said quietly. I looked up at her. "What?" I never spent it. My brain was struggling to catch up. "But why?" She took a deep breath before answering. "Because I knew if I had just told you to save, you wouldn't." I stared at her, still trying to process everything. "I watched you," she continued, "before you turned 18. The way you spent money, the way you didn't think about the future." "That's normal," I said defensively. "I know," she nodded, "but life isn't always forgiving." I didn't say anything. She pushed the envelope closer to me. "There's enough in there for deposit on your first apartment," she said, "or for school, or whatever you decide to do next." My throat tightened. You could have just told me." She gave me a small, sad smile. "And you would have listened?" I opened my mouth, then closed it. "Because honestly, no, I wouldn't have." "I needed you to feel it," she said. "The responsibility, the pressure, the discipline." Tears started forming in my eyes before I could stop them. "But you didn't have to be so cold." That part came out quieter, more honest. Her expression changed suddenly. For the first time in a long time, she looked unsure. "That wasn't part of the plan," she admitted. Silence filled the room. "I didn't realize how much it would push you away," she added. That hurt, but not in the same way as before. Different. Softer. "I thought you didn't care," I said. "I cared too much," she replied. We sat there for a while, neither of us saying anything, just breathing, processing. "I'm sorry," she said finally, and that's when I broke, because that was the first time she said that in a year. I wiped my face quickly, trying to pull myself together. "So all this time, you were just saving it?" She nodded. "For you," I looked down at the statement again, every late night, every stressful shift. Every moment I felt alone, it was all there. But it wasn't just money, it was proof that even when it didn't feel like it, she had been thinking about me the whole time. But there was more.